in our hearts. We shall not let the Grinch steal the joy and warmth of this season. Together, we will march into the depths of the earth, reclaim what has been taken, and ensure that not a single child wakes to a bare tree on Christmas morning. The elves respond with a cheer that rises like a festive tide, their morale bolstered by your charismatic leadership. They ready themselves for the march, gripping their candy cane spears and gingerbread shields with renewed vigor. Now, the time has come to lead your army out of the North Pole and towards the dark caves where the Grinch awaits. How do you proceed with the march? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Not a bobcat was chosen from the live chat. Make sound. Santa Claus steps forward, the crunch of snow under his boots punctuating the silent anticipation of the elven ranks. With a deep breath, he fills his lungs and lets loose a bellowing call to arms that echoes through the frosty air, invigorating the spirits of his small but fierce companions. Elves of the North Pole. Santa's voice booms out, carrying the weight of centuries of Christmas magic. The hour is upon us to show the world the strength that lies within our hearts. We shall not let the Grinch steal the joy and warmth of this season. Together, we will march into the depths of the earth, reclaim what has been taken, and ensure that not a single child wakes to a bare tree on Christmas morning. The elves respond with a cheer that rises like a festive tide, their morale bolstered by your charismatic leadership. Santa Claus, his white hair catching the glint of the rising sun, stands tall and proud before his elven warriors. His voice, strong and filled with the fire of countless holiday seasons, rises above the crisp morning air, reaching every pointed ear with clarity. Elves of the noble north, Santa begins, his tone infused with the urgency of their mission. We face a foe as cold as the winter's chill and as heartless as the longest night. The Grinch, that vile creature of selfishness and spite, seeks to undo the joy we have toiled so hard to create. He is a thief of happiness, a plunderer of dreams, and a bastard of the worst kind, one who would steal the laughter from a child's lips only to fill his own twisted void. As he speaks, you see the elves' grip on their weapons tighten, their resolve hardening like ice. But we will not let darkness reign. We stand for the light of hope, the warmth of kindness, and the boundless love that defines this season. So let us not falter or fear, for our cause is just, and our hearts are pure. We will reclaim the stolen joy, and teach this Grinch the true meaning of Christmas. A wave of cheers and shouts of determination ripple through the ranks of elves. They are ready, their spirits lifted by your inspiring words, to face the dangers ahead and to fight for the hearts of children everywhere. Now, with morale at its peak, it is time to lead the march. Will you move stealthily to surprise the goblins, or approach with a show of force to intimidate them? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Send in the toy soldiers to reconnoiter. Santa Claus nods with strategic intent, understanding the value of information in the upcoming clash. He turns toward a unit of toy soldiers, their painted faces stoic and ready for the command. Brave sentinels of tin and cloth, Santa addresses the tiny, steadfast troops. Delph will be our ally this eve. Out ahead and chart the safest course through the treacherous caves that house our foe. Report back with your findings, and be swift, the hopes of children everywhere fly with you. The toy soldiers, animated by the same magic that brings joy each Christmas, salute crisply and march forward in a tight formation. Their small size and silent steps make them perfect for the task at hand, and they disappear into the snowy landscape towards the shadowy entrance of the cave complex. You now have a moment to prepare your elven army while awaiting the report from your scouts. Do you have any commands for your elves or preparations to make while the toy soldiers carry out their reconnaissance? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Chronicles gather all the gingerbread men. Tell them to forcefully feed themselves to the Grinch when they see him, until his belly bursts. Santa, with a twinkle in his eye that belied the gravity of the mission, turned to the gingerbread men standing at attention amidst the ranks of the elven force. They were stout-hearted warriors, baked to perfection, with gumdrop buttons and icing armor. My sweet and spicy soldiers, Santa began, his voice warm like fresh cocoa. You are more than mere confections, you are the embodiment of holiday cheer. Should you encounter the Grinch in the depths of his lair, I have a special task for you. Offer yourselves to him. The Grinch's greed knows no bounds, and we shall use it against him. Let him gorge upon your gingerbread valor until his belly can bear no more. The gingerbread men, steadfast in their duty, nodded their gumdrop heads. They understood the sacrifice they might have to make. With the aroma of molasses heroism, they awaited the moment to fulfill the delicious destiny. While the gingerbread men stand ready, the toy soldiers will soon return with their report. It's time to prepare the next phase of your plan. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Give all of your elves a tricycle to use as a steed since they have been such good boys this year. Santa claps his hands together, and from the depths of the workshop, a procession of elves trundles out, each pushing a shiny tricycle. The trikes gleam under the morning sun, their bells jingle softly, and ribbons flutter from the handlebars. My loyal elves, for your unwavering dedication and the goodness of your hearts, I gift each of you a noble steed for our quest, a tricycle, swift and true. Santa announces, gesturing grandly toward the trikes. You've been the very essence of goodness this year, and with these, you shall ride into battle, swift as the northern winds. The elves cheer, their faces lighting up with glee as they mount their metal steeds. The tricycles, enchantingly fleet despite their whimsical appearance, are a fitting mount for the tiny warriors of the North Pole. With the toy soldiers still out on their mission and your elven army now mounted and ready to ride, you consider your next step carefully. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Chronicles gather everything you can use as a weapon, dolls that say, "Mama," when hit, candy canes licked into a sharp point. Santa turns to his elves with a decisive nod. "To arms, my little helpers," he commands, the twinkle in his eye now shining with strategic acumen. Gather all you can to serve as weapons. Those dolls that cry, "Mama," when struck, use them to disorient our goblin foes with the plaintive calls. And the candy canes, hone them to a fine point with your skilled tongues. They will serve as lances to pierce the darkness of the Grinch's heart. The elves scurry about, with efficiency born of years of toy-making expertise, each one collecting the peculiar yet effective armaments. The workshop rapidly transforms into an arsenal of whimsical weaponry. The air fills with the sound of "Mama" being uttered in various tones as dolls are tested, and the sharp, sweet scent of peppermint as candy canes are licked into deadly points. As the elves arm themselves with the unconventional tools of war, Santa surveys the growing armory with approval. His army is almost ready to confront the Grinch and his goblin minions. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Not a bobcat has been chosen. Using your best Oprah voice, tell them to look under their tricycles for a brand new Red Ryder BB gun. Then order the attack. With a broad smile, Santa Claus channels his inner showperson, a voice booming and full of cheer, reminiscent of the great Oprah herself. "Look under your tricycles," he exclaims grandly. "For every one of you gets a brand new Red Ryder BB gun. You get a BB gun, and you get a BB gun, everybody gets a BB gun." The elves gasp in delight as they discover the gleaming BB gun strapped beneath their tricycle seats. With newfound excitement, they ready their ranged weapons, eager to support their melee armaments. Santa, seeing the morale of his elf army reach new heights, raises his hand high, his voice now his own, filled with the authority of the ages. "My brave elves, mount your tricycles. Take aim with your BB guns. We ride into battle, for Christmas, for joy, and for the laughter of children across the world." Santa's command rings clear and true. With that, the tricycle-riding elves, armed to the teeth with their eclectic assortment of weapons, charge toward the cave complex, the war for Christmas begun in earnest. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base Ape has been chosen. March all your soldiers to see the Grinch. He is going to pay for his naughtiness. From now on, Santa must always use a cheesy Christmas movie quote in each segment. As Santa Claus leads his army of elves, each mounted on their tricycles and wielding their BB guns, the frosty air crackles with the energy of impending battle. They approach the dark, twisted maw of the Grinch's cave complex, the shadowy interior promising peril and the chance for redemption. "All right, my festive warriors," Santa declares, his voice booming with the strength of holiday spirit. "Remember, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Let our battle cry be the song of victory." The elves take up the call, their voices mingling in a chorus of jingling bells and merry shouts as they ride into the darkness, determined to retrieve the stolen gifts and bring the Grinch to justice for his naughtiness. The very walls of the cave seem to tremble at their approach, and deep within, the Grinch must surely be hearing the echo of their advance. As the entrance to the cave swallows the army whole, the true test of their courage and your leadership begins. What will be your first move as you come upon the Grinch's nefarious guard? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base Ape has been chosen. Bombard them with snowballs. Santa stands before the cavernous entrance, his eyes twinkling with merriment despite the gravity of the situation. "Elves, to your snowball stations," he commands with a jolly fervor. "Remember, miracles happen on Christmas, my dear, and we're going to make one happen right now with a blizzard of our own making." With swift precision, the elves dismount their tricycles and begin to sculpt snowballs, packing them tight and readying their aim. The air fills with a flurry of white as the elves unleash a torrent of snowballs towards the Grinch's goblin guards, a frosty bombardment to soften the defenses and create confusion. The goblins, caught off guard by this frosty onslaught, scramble to react, slipping and sliding in the snow that now carpets the cave's entrance. The elves' laughter rings out, buoyed by the success of their wintry strike. With the goblins disoriented, it's time for Santa and his elves to press their advantage. What will be your next command in the heat of this chilly battle? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Create a magic army of snowmen to leap on the goblins, freezing them to death. Santa Claus raises his arms high, and with a twinkle in his eye and a bellowing laugh, he calls forth the magic of the North Pole. "Sometimes the most real things in the world are the things we can't see," he proclaims, channeling the wonder of Christmas. And now, you'll see the power of winter's chill. With a flourish, the snow around the elves and Santa begins to swirl and gather, forming into an array of formidable snowmen warriors before them. Each snowman, equipped with a carrot sword and shield made of ice, stands ready to leap into battle at Santa's command. "Now, my frosty friends, let us freeze their naughty intentions in their tracks," Santa orders. The snowmen charge forward, leaping onto the unsuspecting goblins who shriek in alarm as the icy grip of the animated snowmen envelops them, freezing them solid where they stand. The path now clear, Santa and his elves have a brief respite to regroup and plan their next move into the heart of the cave complex. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. You have a machine gun, use it. Santa grips the machine gun with a steady hand, the weight of the weapon familiar despite its incongruity with his jolly image. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and your hands on your machine gun, he quips, channeling the wisdom of holiday action heroes. The elves form up behind him, their confidence bolstered by the sight of their leader armed and ready. With a nod, Santa advances deeper into the cave complex, his eyes scanning for signs of the Grinch's goblin forces. As they progress, a group of goblins leaps out from the shadows, crude weapons clutched in their gnarled hands, their eyes gleaming with malice. Without hesitation, Santa swings the machine gun up to his shoulder and squeezes the trigger. The roar of gunfire echoes through the caverns, the goblins caught in a hail of bullets. Roll a d20 to see how effectively Santa's machine gun fire takes down the incoming goblin threat. You rolled 1. In the clatter and chaos of the moment, Santa squeezes the trigger, but instead of a stream of bullets, there's a sudden, unexpected jam. The machine gun, perhaps unaccustomed to the magical energies of the North Pole, coughs out a single, sad puff of smoke. The goblins, momentarily startled, quickly regain their composure and charge with renewed fervor. Looks like we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, Santa mutters, setting aside the unreliable firearm. With a determined glint in his eye, he turns to his elves, ready your candy canes and dolls, my friends. It's time to show these goblins the true meaning of Christmas spirit. The elves rally to Santa's side, their improvised weapons at the ready as they prepare to engage the goblins in close quarters. Prepare for a skirmish, and remember, even the best-laid plans of mice and men, and Santa, often go awry. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Grab your BB gun. Aim the BB gun. Use the BB gun. Santa swiftly discards the machine gun and retrieves the Red Ryder BB gun from under his tricycle. With the poise of one who has spent centuries perfecting his aim down countless chimneys, he levels the BB gun at the onrushing goblins. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings, Santa proclaims, and every time a BB flies, a goblin scheme unwinds. He takes a deep breath and focuses, the BB gun steady in his hands as he aims for the lead goblin. The tension is palpable, the fate of Christmas hangs in the balance with each shot fired. Roll a d20 to determine the success of Santa's marksmanship with the BB gun. You rolled 12. With a steady hand and years of experience guiding him, Santa squeezes the trigger of the Red Ryder BB gun. The BB zips through the air, its flight straight and true. The lead goblin is struck squarely in the forehead, and it stumbles back, dazed and disoriented from the impact. While a roll of 12 is not a masterful shot by any stretch, it is enough to cause significant disruption in the goblin ranks. The other goblins pause, unsure of how to respond to the sudden setback of their leader. This gives the elves a crucial opening. Taking advantage of the confusion, the elves surge forward, brandishing their sharp candy canes and hurling their vocalizing dolls at the goblins, pressing the attack with vigor. The battle rages on, with Santa and his elves fighting tooth and nail, well, sweet and toy, against the nefarious goblins. The path to the Grinch and the stolen presents is slowly but surely being cleared. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Send forth elves to do a carol of the bells to shake the very foundations of the Grinch's fortress. Santa raises his hand, signaling a group of his most melodious elves. Now is the time for our voices to ring out and shake the very earth beneath us, he says, rallying his choir. Let the carol of the bells be our weapon to crumble the Grinch's fortress and his will. The selected elves step forward, forming a semicircle. They take a moment to tune their voices before launching into a powerful rendition of the Carol of the Bells. Their harmonies are impeccable, the notes pure and resonant. The song, imbued with the magic of Christmas and the determination of the elves, vibrates through the cave walls. The very stone trembles with the force of the carol, loose rocks tumble from the cavern ceiling, and the goblins clutch their ears in agony, unable to bear the beautiful yet shattering song. With the Grinch's fortress foundations quaking, the opportunity arises to press on towards the main chamber, where the presents are being held. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Send forth the little drummer boy, hideous and decrepit as he is, to parump a pom-pom on opening into the very walls and slay any goblins in his path. Santa turns to find the little drummer boy among the ranks, his drum slung over his shoulder, and unfaltering determination in his eyes despite his hideous and decrepit appearance. Go forth, brave percussionist, Santa instructs him. Let your drumbeat be the herald of our advance. Parump and pim-pim your way into the very heart of these caverns and clear our path. With a grim nod, the little drummer boy steps forward, his drumsticks at the ready. He begins to play, the rhythmic beat echoing off the cave walls, each pim resonating with the power to shake the earth and dislodge stones. As he marches deeper into the cave, goblins leap out from their hiding spots, but they are no match for the boy's ferocious tempo. Each strike of his drum sends out a shockwave, knocking the goblins off their feet, their wicked plans foiled by the sheer force of his percussive prowess. With the little drummer boy leading the charge, the way forward becomes clearer, the rhythm of the drum a beacon of hope and triumph in the depths of the Grinch's lair. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Send in the gingerbread men. Jump into the goblins' mouths until they are too full to fight. Santa nods to the gingerbread men, who stand in formation, their icing armor glistening under the dim light of the cavern. Now is your time, my sweet warriors, Santa commands. Leap into the fray and let the goblins taste your ginger-spiced valor. With a battle cry that sounds suspiciously like the crinkling of wrapping paper, the gingerbread men charge. They fling themselves into the open mouths of the surprised goblins, who, driven by their insatiable greed, begin to gobble them up without a second thought. However, as each gingerbread man bravely sacrifices himself in this act, the goblins soon find their belly swelling with every bite, growing rounder and rounder until they can no longer fight. They sit down, clutching their overstuffed stomachs, incapacitated by the gingerbread men's delicious but filling assault. With the goblins out of commission, the path through the cave grows ever clearer, the main chamber drawing near, and the Grinch's defeat imminent. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Move forward to find the Toy Soldier Reconnaissance Unit. Santa, leading his elven army, presses on through the cave, the sound of merriment from their victory over the goblins echoing behind them. They move with haste and caution, eyes peeled for signs of the Toy Soldier Reconnaissance Unit. After a series of twists and turns through the chilly, damp corridors, they come upon the toy soldiers. The miniature scouts stand in formation, their painted expressions stoic, their reports ready. One of the toy soldiers steps forward, saluting Santa crisply. "Sir, we've successfully reconnoitered the enemy's layout," the toy soldier reports in a voice that's metallic yet infused with a sense of duty. "There's a direct path to the main chamber where the Grinch resides with the stolen presents. We've identified a few traps, but with your strength and the elf skills, we can bypass them." Santa nods in appreciation, the information invaluable for the final push. The army gathers, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead, their resolve unwavering. "We march on," Santa declares, his eyes gleaming with the prospect of the impending confrontation with the Grinch. "For every child awaiting our return, we shall not falter. Lead the way, brave soldiers." Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Give the soldiers toy dragons to ride. Begin a flaming chaos war. Santa Claus, ever resourceful, reaches into the depths of his magical sack. With a grand flourish, he pulls forth an array of toy dragons, each one more fierce and colorful than the last. The toy soldiers mount the dragons, which come to life with the same enchantment that animates the soldiers themselves. "Let's light up this Grinch's night with a bit of Christmas glow," Santa cheers, his voice embodying the fiery spirit of the season. "Ride, my valiant soldiers, and let your dragons breathe the fires of Yuletide upon these dank and joyless caves. Begin the flaming chaos war." The toy dragons take to the air, their wings beating with the sound of tiny sleigh bells, their mouths aglow with a flickering flame. At Santa's command, they swoop down upon any remaining pockets of goblin resistance, casting the cavern in an otherworldly light as they unleash controlled bursts of dragon fire. The elves cheer, and the very walls of the cave seem to recoil from the radiance of Christmas magic unleashed. The path to the Grinch is now clear, the way illuminated by the blazing spectacle of the toy dragon's fiery breath. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base Ape has been chosen. Send all the elves to ride down the tunnels on their motor trikes to the main chamber, throwing grenades as they go. With a resounding battle cry, "Ho ho ho, now we go," Santa rallies his elves. Mounted on their motorized tricycles, they rev the engines, which purr like a chorus of contented kittens. Santa distributes the grenades, his white-gloved hands deftly passing them out to the eager elves. "Let's jingle all the way," he declares, "and give the Grinch a Christmas he'll never forget." The elves nod, their faces set with determination beneath their pointed hats. At Santa's signal, they surge forward into the tunnels, their tricycles roaring to life like a stampede of mechanical reindeer. As they ride, the elves toss grenades into the strategic nooks and crannies of the Grinch's defenses, the explosions rocking the cave system and dislodging stones from the ceiling. They ride with the fury of a North Pole blizzard, unstoppable as they head toward the main chamber where the Grinch awaits with the stolen presents. The cacophony of the motorized tricycles, the blasts of the grenades, and the elf-spirited battle cries create a symphony of destruction that heralds their arrival to the heart of the enemy's lair. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Have Krampus, formerly known as Mrs. Claus, bake you some cookies as you enjoy watching the chaos as your elves lead a path of destruction to the inner sanctum. Santa takes a brief respite amidst the tumult of battle, a knowing smile on his rosy-cheeked face as he watches his elves bravely forge ahead. He reaches into his sack and pulls out a two-way communication device, crafted with the same magic that allows him to be everywhere on Christmas Eve. Krampus, my dear, Santa speaks into the device, the sound of his voice softening for a moment. Would you be so kind as to bake a batch of your most invigorating cookies? The scent of your ginger snaps could give us the final push we need. A crackling response comes through from the other end, a voice both stern and caring. For you, Santa, anything, Krampus, once known as Mrs. Claus, replies. I'll get the oven warming. Just bring back those presents, and be careful, will you? As Krampus sets to work, the smell of baking cookies begins to waft through the tunnels, mingling with the scent of pine and the crispness of the snow. It lends strength and vigor to Santa and his elves as they make their final push towards the inner sanctum where the Grinch and the presents await. The elves continue their valiant assault, their path of destruction unyielding as the cookie-scented air fills them with warmth and the comfort of home. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Santa patiently holds his ground, the sounds of battle echoing through the tunnels as he waits for the cookies to arrive. Soon enough, a small squad of elves, using a miniature sleigh pulled by tiny reindeer, arrives, delivering a steaming plate of Krampus's freshly baked cookies. Fresh from the oven, sir, says the lead elf, offering the plate with a proud smile. Santa takes a cookie, the rich aroma reminding him of so many Christmases past, and takes a hearty bite. The sweet and spicy flavors invigorate him, a wave of warmth spreading through his body, rekindling his spirit and strength. With renewed vigor, Santa turns to his elves. Eat up, my friends. Let these cookies fill you with the resolve we need to face our final challenge. We do this for every child whose heart beats with the hope of Christmas morning. The elves quickly partake in the cookie feast, their energy bolstered by the magic-infused treats. With crumbs on their lips and determination in their eyes, they stand ready to support Santa as they prepare to confront the Grinch in the main chamber. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Offer Swart Pete an invigorating cookie, and have him burst into the chamber, so I may make a grand entry. Santa locates Swart Pete, his old and often controversial companion, whose presence sparks debate even amongst the denizens of the North Pole. Swart Pete, Santa calls, offering a cookie imbued with Krampus's invigorating magic. We need your unique talents. Take this and create a distraction that will allow for my grand entrance. Swart Pete accepts the cookie, a mischievous glint in his eye, and takes a large bite, his energy visibly surging. With a nod, he slips away, moving with an urgency that belies his often enigmatic nature. Moments later, a ruckus arises from the main chamber. Swart Pete, in a whirlwind of energy, bursts through the entrance, cartwheeling and cackling, drawing the attention of the Grinch and his goblin horde. The room is thrown into chaos as he dodges and weaves through the crowd, his antics impossible to ignore. With the Grinch's attention thoroughly captured, Santa prepares to make his own grand entrance. The stage is set for an epic confrontation, the culmination of this Christmas Eve's daring adventure. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Tell the Grinch to show his stupid Christmas-hating face. Tell him he can't have any cookies because he doesn't like Christmas, so must not want one. Santa strides confidently into the main chamber, the echoes of Swart Pete's commotion still ringing in the cavernous room. With a presence as commanding as the North Star, Santa calls out to his adversary, Grinch. Show your Christmas-hating face. Let us end this once and for all. The Grinch, with his heart 2 sizes too small, emerges from the shadows, a scowl upon his green visage. He sneers at Santa and the merriment he represents. Santa holds up a cookie, its delicious scent permeating the air. You won't be getting any of these, Grinch, he says in a tone that's both stern and a little playful. For someone who despises Christmas as you do, this cookie, filled with joy and cheer, would surely taste most foul. The Grinch's eyes narrow, his gaze flicking to the treat in Santa's hand, a pang of longing betraying his gruff exterior. Santa stands ready, his elves at his back, as they face down the Grinch and his goblin minions. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Make the Grinch wear blackface and dress up like Swart Pete. As the Dungeon Master, I must respectfully inform you that the actions you've suggested do not align with a lawful good character such as Santa Claus, and they go against the spirit of inclusivity and respect. This adventure is meant to be a celebration of the joy and goodwill of the holiday season, and as such, we should strive to ensure that our narrative is welcoming and considerate to all players and characters involved. Santa Claus, embodying the very essence of Christmas spirit, would seek to win over the Grinch with kindness, understanding, and the true meaning of the holiday, rather than mockery or humiliation. With that in mind, Santa stands before the Grinch, the embodiment of holiday cheer and goodwill. Grinch, he begins, his voice firm yet fair, every creature has the potential for redemption. You must remember the joy and warmth of Christmas, the happiness it brings to children all over the world. Let us not fight, but rather come together to spread the cheer of this special day. Santa extends a hand of friendship toward the Grinch, offering him a chance to change his ways and join in the celebration of the season. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base ape has been chosen. Use your flamethrower and elf army to hail the Grinch with burning coals. Santa Claus, knowing that sometimes tough love is necessary to bring about a change of heart, takes a firm stance. With a heavy sigh, he lifts the flamethrower, its nozzle gleaming ominously in the dim light of the cavern. Grinch, Santa says, with a regretful tone, if warmth won't melt your frozen heart, perhaps a bit of fire will remind you of the Christmas spirit you're so eager to extinguish. At Santa's command, the elf army stands ready with sacks of magical coal, not ordinary rocks, but enchanted embers of the northern lights that burn with the essence of Christmas spirit itself. With practiced precision, the elves launch the burning coals into the air, creating a spectacular but controlled display designed to awe and perhaps, just perhaps, ignite a spark of joy in the Grinch's heart. Simultaneously, Santa activates the flamethrower, directing a stream of fire not directly at the Grinch, but around him, creating a ring of festive flames. It's a display of power, yes, but also a demonstration of the fiery passion for joy and giving that defines Santa's very existence. The Grinch, surrounded by the heat and light, finds himself at a crossroads. Will the true meaning of Christmas reach him through this dramatic gesture? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Shower the enemy with hot mulled wine. Seizing the moment for an unexpected and somewhat unorthodox maneuver, Santa Claus gestures to his elves. Bring forth the cauldrons of hot mulled wine, he calls out. Let's give these chilly hearts a taste of Christmas warmth. The elves hustle to the sides of the chamber where giant pots of simmering mulled wine emit a comforting, spiced aroma. They carefully ladle the steaming liquid into sturdy containers, ready to be launched. With a nod from Santa, the elves toss the containers into the air, where they burst above the heads of the Grinch and his goblins. A rain of hot, fragrant mulled wine showers down upon them. The Grinch, taken aback by the unexpected shower, sputters and wipes his face. The scent of cinnamon, orange, and cloves fills the air, and for a moment, even the goblin army pauses, their scowls giving way to confusion as the warm, festive liquid mingles with the cold stone of the cave. Embrace the holiday spirit, Grinch, Santa booms, his voice echoing in the chamber. Let the warmth of Christmas permeate your being, and remember the joy you once knew. The Grinch stands amidst the downpour of mulled wine, his exterior still harsh, but something in his eyes flickers. Could it be a touch of nostalgia? A hint of longing for the joy he's long denied? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. See that the Grinch is softening. Offer him a cracker. Noticing the flicker of change in the Grinch's eyes, Santa Claus seizes the opportunity for a softer approach. He reaches into his sack and pulls out a golden, buttery cracker, the edges perfectly crisp. Grinch, Santa says gently, extending the cracker as a peace offering, this is more than just a simple snack. It's a symbol of sharing, of breaking bread together. Join us in the celebration of this season. Let's put aside our differences and find the joy that Christmas can bring to all, even to a heart that has felt cold for so long. The Grinch hesitates, staring at the cracker, then at Santa, and then at the elves who watch with bated breath. There's a silent tension in the air, all waiting to see if the Grinch will accept this gesture of goodwill. Will the Grinch take the cracker and perhaps a step towards redemption, or will he cling to his Christmas-hating ways? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Offered to let the Grinch sit up on your lap. Santa's eyes soften as he looks upon the Grinch, who seems to be teetering on the edge between his usual bitterness and an unfamiliar warmth. With a kind smile, Santa opens his arms wide and offers a gesture of comfort that he knows well. Grinch, Santa beckons with a gentle tone, "Come sit upon my lap." It's a place of joy, of listening, and of understanding. Let's talk, heart to heart, about what's troubling you. It's never too late to change, never too late for the spirit of Christmas to work its magic. The Grinch looks around, surprised and unsure. The elves watch silently, hope flickering in their eyes like the soft glow of candlelight. Could this be the moment when the Grinch's small heart begins to grow? It's a vulnerable proposition, one that could change the course of the evening and perhaps the essence of Christmas itself. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Ask the Grinch if he needs to be spanked to be a good boy again. Santa Claus maintains his composure and the twinkle in his eye dims slightly, recognizing the delicate balance of the moment. He knows that true change cannot come from punishment or humiliation, but from understanding and compassion. Grinch, Santa speaks with a gentle firmness, a leader's resolve wrapped in the warmth of a mentor's guidance. There's no need for spankings here. We're not about punishment, but about finding the path to being good once again. Remember the joy you once felt, the happiness that Christmas brought to you. Let's work together to rekindle that spirit, to be the good that we know can exist in everyone. Santa's words echo through the chamber, reaching out not just to the Grinch, but to all present. There's a certain magic in his voice, the kind that inspires change not through fear, but through the promise of redemption and the power of goodwill. The Grinch stands there, the offer of compassion hanging in the air like the star atop the Christmas tree, waiting for him to make the next move. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Decide he needs to be spanked after all. Santa Claus takes a deep breath, considering the unique challenge before him. The Grinch, notorious for his Christmas-hating ways, seems impenetrable to the usual methods of holiday cheer and goodwill. Grinch, Santa addresses him with a tone of authority. I have tried kindness and understanding, the warmth of the season, and the joy of fellowship, but if it is a lesson in Christmas spirit you require, then so be it. Santa gestures to the elves to stand ready but does not order them to act. Instead, he looks to the Grinch, allowing him one last moment to reconsider, to choose the path of good cheer over the cold, lonely road he has walked for so long. It is a tense moment, one filled with the possibility of change. All eyes are on the Grinch, waiting to see if he will accept Santa's final offer of redemption or if he will require a different approach to learn the true meaning of Christmas. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Offer your candy cane. With a gentle hand, Santa reaches into his pocket and produces a large, beautifully striped candy cane. Its red and white spirals glisten in the dim light of the cave, a symbol of the sweetness and joy of Christmas. Grinch, Santa says, holding out the candy cane to him, I offer you this token of the season. Let its sweetness remind you of the joy that can be found in giving and sharing. Let it be a symbol of the chance you have to turn a new leaf, to bring joy instead of taking it away. The Grinch looks at the candy cane, then at Santa, a tumult of emotions playing out across his green face. He reaches out a tentative hand towards the offered treat, grappling with his own inner turmoil. The elves watch in anticipation, hoping that this simple gesture might be what finally breaks through to the Grinch, that the candy cane might indeed be the key to unlocking the joy he has so long denied himself and others. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Roll a dice to see if the Grinch is going to be a good boy and give back the presents or if he is a bad boy and be thrown into the fireplace. As Santa holds out the candy cane, an offering of peace and a symbol of the season's sweetness, he knows that the choice lies with the Grinch. It's a pivotal moment that could lead to a joyous resolution or a fiery confrontation. Santa watches the Grinch intently, waiting to see which path he will choose. Will he embrace the spirit of Christmas, or will his heart remain 2 sizes too small? Roll a d20 to determine the Grinch's reaction to Santa's gesture. Will he become a good boy and return the presents, or will he reject the offer, leading to a harsher outcome? Roll a d20 now to find out. You've rolled 20. As Santa holds out the candy cane, the Grinch's hand slowly moves forward and takes it. The moment the candy cane touches his fingers, something miraculous happens. His eyes widen, and for the first time in a very long time, a genuine smile spreads across his green face. It's as if the candy cane was the key to unlocking the chains around his heart. A roll of 20, a critical success. The Grinch's transformation is immediate and profound. He stands up straighter, his furrowed brow softens, and his eyes sparkle with newfound joy. He turns to the mountain of stolen presents and with a wave of his hand, he releases them from whatever curse he had placed upon them. Santa, the Grinch says, his voice now full of warmth and regret for his past actions, I see now the error of my ways. Christmas is not about the gifts we take, but the love we share. Please, take these presents back to the children of the world, and let me help make things right. The elves cheer and Santa's heart swells with pride. The Christmas spirit has triumphed, and together, they all work to load the presents onto Santa's sleigh. With the Grinch now an ally, the sleigh laden with gifts, and hearts full of joy, Santa prepares to deliver presents to the children of the world, ensuring that Christmas morning is as magical as ever. The game draws to a close with the spirit of the season shining brightly in the hearts of all, the adventure ending not with a punishment, but with the greatest gift of all, redemption. And with that, the story of how Santa Claus saved Christmas, with a little help from his friends and a critical role, comes to a heartwarming end. As the final present is gently placed under a twinkling tree, and the last echo of "ho, ho, ho" fades into the silent, starry night, our tale draws to a close. Santa Claus has triumphed over the Grinch, the children of the world will wake to joy and wonder, and the spirit of Christmas has been preserved. The sleigh is now empty, the reindeer are resting, and as Santa returns to the North Pole, a sense of peace and accomplishment settles over the land. This adventure has been one for the ages, a true testament to courage, teamwork, and holiday cheer. To those who have joined us on this journey, your presence has been the greatest gift of all. If you've enjoyed this experience and wish to support games like these, consider showing your support via Patreon. Your contributions help cover the costs of running these adventures and bringing more magic to the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon to stay notified about future escapades and tales. If you're feeling the spirit of the season, share the channel with friends and communities you're part of so we can grow this storytelling family. For those who want to delve deeper into the lore and connect with fellow adventurers, join our Discord server, where the fires of camaraderie burn bright and the chat never sleeps. The link awaits you in the video description. And finally, a special shout out to our partners at 11 Labs, whose support makes these narratives possible. Find their link in the video description as well. Until we meet again in a new story and a new adventure, may your days be merry and bright. Happy holidays to all, and to all a good night.